Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the maybe it might be called Time Distilled podcast. We are your hosts, Cole Campbell over here, and I'm Cameron Lawrence. Let's get into it.
What was that song I was singing earlier? Well, I was trying to do it for the intro, but
nope.
If
It's like something about licking a butt.
I can't believe we forgot it.
I swear it was like if you don't
lick my butt,
yeah,
then I'ma lick your butt.
Yeah. And it's fucking stupid. And you know what's even more stupid is Cole, we were setting up the podcast stuff and Cole's singing it. And then it gets stuck in my head. And then before you know it, I'm sitting like, I'm gonna lick your butt. And then I'm like, I can't have that stuck in my head when my wife gets home later because I'm gonna say it and I'm having no excuse.
I feel like it's in the jingle tune of like a Nickelodeon intro or something.
Yeah.
If you don't lick my butt, then I'ma lick your butt.
Yeah. So fucking sing that in your car a couple times to yourself today or whenever you have a moment and just know that we gave you that.
Hashtag
gave you that.
Hashtag if you don't lick my butt, then I'ma lick your butt. Put that in the comments.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Wonder what the acronym for that is. We'll figure it out later.
It'd be funny if it just, I'm gonna lick your butt. That
would be the best. So guys, we're going to get right into it. Actually, no, we're not. I did want to tell you or talk to you about how like, man, I am so fucking hyped for October. Like when we're doing this, we're going to talk about the best shit. I have so many scary topics that I want to discuss, like scary stories that we both have with each other. I feel like it's so much that we can do it outside of October, but I really want to go hard in October with that stuff.
I want to talk about like me seeing ghosts as a kid. And
shit. Dude, I'd love to talk about that. Those are some great stories. Oh,
October's gonna be cool.
And I've been on that high strangeness subreddit lately, like reading about the Mothman and shit. Like, I want to get into that shit so bad.
Yeah, dude.
Cryptids and whatnot. Anyways, on kind of a similar type, like a little spooky subject, not really, I guess, but we're gonna talk about camping stories.
Yeah.
And some of them, at least for Cameron, a little too traumatic. We don't talk about those ones. That happened to you when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll start then.
Before we start,
yeah.
Get your s'mores and your hot dogs ready.
Nice.
Because we're about to talk about some camping stories.
Hell yeah. Did your parents ever take you camping as a kid?
No.
Or did you ever do any camping or anything like that? I really didn't go camping that much as a kid either, unless I'm just forgetting a section of my life where we did that. I mean, my parents would set up like the tent in the backyard of our house, and my sister and I would camp in it and stuff like that. I remember one time a bug flew in, and my sister... My dumbass overachieving master's degree getting sister. I don't think she watches these, but
she's too busy fucking getting degrees and fucking being a know-it-all and smart and shit. God.
She screamed so loud because of this little bug that was in there that my dad ran out of the house with a baseball bat, thinking somebody was trying to like get us.
Wow, dude, who the fuck screams at bugs?
I don't know, dude.
What a lame thing to do.
Right, dude. She should just move to fucking Antarctica where there aren't any bugs.
Yeah.
If she's so scared of them.
Yeah.
You know. If you're so scared of bugs, Mia, then why don't you move to Antarctica?
What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with us, dude? Our jokes are getting fucking lame on this thing.
Bullshit.
This podcast fucking sucks.
God, we should quit it.
But really the funnest camping stories I have are between us. Yeah. Julie and I have been camping a couple times, but nothing crazy. Nothing really crazy ever happened. It's just kind of normal camping, which, you know, that's the preferable way to camp is without like crazy bullshit happening.
Yeah.
But I love this when you and I decided to go to Oklahoma. I don't even remember what lake it was. I think recently I heard of the name of a lake and I was like, oh, I think that's where Cameron and I went.
I remember it was basically like Bartlesville.
Oh, really?
That was what was close to us because I remember looking at the map.
Oh, wow.
For why it was scary and being like, oh, yeah, we're in Bartlesville.
Huh.
Or close to.
We should take a road trip out there sometime again. Look for snakes and stuff.
I'm scared of it.
But yeah, so like Cameron and I, we decide, you know what? Let's do a camping trip. Just us two dudes going to Oklahoma at this lake. We're gonna look for snakes. We're gonna have just a fucking fun ass time for a day. And the night that we were scheduled to leave, I can't remember. I think I had work or something was going on.
Yeah.
I think there was like a late night at the zoo or something like that. Like everything on the radar was like, fuckload of tornadoes tonight, guys, especially in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Be safe. And then like my mom did not want us to go. She was like, you guys be careful. We were kids. Like I had my little Pontiac Sunfire and shit. And so we keep the plans and we drive out there at night, pitch black darkness. And I remember stopping at it. We had hot dogs and we had drinks.
Yeah.
And we stopped at a gas station to get bags of ice.
And we had the sled.
Time to sled. It's all tied together again. So we had the OG sled, the time to sled.
Called it Corvette.
We called it the Corvette.
It was blue.
We had it in my trunk, just like sitting upright, like sideways. And we were like, fuck, we didn't bring a cooler for these hot dogs and shit.
Yeah.
And so like,
because we've never done this.
Right. Yeah. And nobody told us that we should do this.
Yeah.
So we just like empty out these bags of ice in this open sled in my trunk with like no barriers around it or anything like that.
It was literally like just one of those where you put like 4 people on a sled or 3 people on a sled.
Yeah.
So it was one of those long ones that was maybe this deep for any reason. So it's like, once that ice starts to melt, if Cole like hits the brakes or accelerates really fast, it's just gonna fucking dumb.
And we get to our spot. We're driving around. We're looking for a good little campfire spot. We find this place by this lake, and we build this fire. We find a bunch of wood, put it together, and like this is a successful fire. We didn't try too hard at that, if I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Like, that's how the night started. We lit a fire. We were eating some hot dogs and shit. It was a good time. But like in the distance, you could see lightning flashing. Like, you could tell it was like really ominous in the darkness. It was like one of those weird, creepy storm nights. And on my phone, it's like buzzing. It's saying shit like tornado warning near you and everything because I had GPS on. We get in my car and on the radio, it talks about there being like a rain wrapped tornado moving in this direction that on the radar is right towards us.
Yep.
Like we were in the middle of its like of where it was approaching. And so Cameron and I are like, what the fuck do we do? Because there's no buildings around here. Like there's not even a house nearby. We are out in the middle of nowhere. And so we find this like, what was it? Like a concrete ditch or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I remember the story differently.
Really?
Yeah. Because I thought this was the one too where we didn't make a good fire. It was raining and we tried to make a fire in the rain and when we had cold ass hot dogs because the fucking fire wouldn't go.
Oh, yeah.
And it was on the bank of that thing where the water was coming in. It was like a cement where they put trucks in. And me and you like walked out there and shit.
We were worried the next day.
Was that the next day?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm thinking about the fire the next day because maybe we had some leftover hot dogs.
Okay.
That's probably what happened.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so yeah, what Cole's talking about when we found a place to park, and I just remember it was like a road, and there's a bridge in front of us. Like if you go like 30, 50 more feet, or maybe 100 feet, I don't know. There's a bridge that's like this concrete fucking like bridge over a ditch, but we're parked in a ditch in front of that.
Yeah.
And we just like pull over because we can't see.
Yeah, we couldn't see shit.
Like it was that kind of heavy rain where you're like, there's no point in even moving because it's dangerous.
And it was so dark. And like I remember because like I did a lot of storm chasing when I was younger, and I know like one of the rules is if you have no place to take cover, first of all, don't be in a car. That's super dangerous. And like the best thing to do is to just get out and lay down in a ditch. And so yeah, that's what our plan was if shit got hairy. But like we're hearing fucking tornado sirens in the distance. There's just so much wind and the rain is so heavy, it's insane. Cameron and I, this was a really kind of dark, weird moment that we shared with each other. But it was one of those where it was like, I don't know, what was our mentality? Because I like looking back on it, I'm thinking that's fucked up that we recorded those videos, but at like for our wives, but at our girlfriends at the time. But at the same time, like I think we were in the headspace that like we probably won't die. But if we do, then at least we'll have this message to send.
Yeah.
It's not like we were like, we're going to die. It wasn't like a scary moment. It was like, we should do this to be safe moment, I think.
Yeah. And I remember, like, I had like an iPhone 4. It was like the first iPhone I ever had or whatever. It was like when we had smartphones for the first time, kind of, maybe. And I remember, like, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and, like, we don't have service. We don't have any of that. We can get the weather to work, kind of. Yeah. Now that shit's gotten real.
I remember being able to get like my radar app to work because it was like GPS. Yeah. And like, yeah.
And I remember, like, it took a while, but I was able to download like an FM radio app so that we could listen to the news or something. Because even though I don't know why your car wasn't doing it, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe I was just trying to look at something else, or trying to get a second opinion. And you have one radio station on here, and then I have. Either way,
there's a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. It was so fucking loud, and the car's just shaking. Yeah. Like it felt like there was just like groups of people on the outside just shaking the car. At least from my memory. Yeah. But
no, I remember the car rocking back and forth. Now my car wasn't a big car, but still, like I had never been in wind where it was rocking like that. It's insane.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we recorded these videos of us just basically telling our significant others, like, "Yo, just so you know, we're in this car. There's a tornado coming, and we don't really have a place to go, so we just want to let you know that like this is happening, and that we love you guys and all that stuff," and then called it good after that. Yeah. And I remember we couldn't see if the tornado was there, and it's not like we wanted to go lay in the ditch for the next like 2 hours not knowing if the tornado was even really, really, really close. So what we did was we were like, if we hear the tornado coming, because apparently when a tornado approaches, it sounds like a train. And if we hear the tornado coming, then we'll bail, get out there. But for now, we just go click and like buckle our seatbelts and then just sit in the driver's and the passenger seat. And what was crazy is that the sound of the rain and all that stuff and how tired we were, we fell asleep.
Yeah, eventually we just fell asleep, like seats laid back.
Yep, both fell asleep around the same time, and then we woke up the next morning, and everything was good. Yeah. I mean, there was clearly a lot of like tree debris and damage and stuff that had been done, but yeah, that was pretty nuts, dude.
Yeah, it was, because it's one of those where it's like in a movie where shit's like, oh fuck, and then all this stuff, and then like the camera just fades to black, and then like next day it like fades.
Birds
and,
are
like,
chirping and shit.
That's how it felt.
That's exactly
I don't remember falling asleep, because I wasn't like, okay, I know we weren't like we're gonna try to go to sleep. Like we weren't thinking about that. I just remember waking up the next day.
Yeah, it was like we both just drifted off at the same time.
Yeah,
didn't even like say anything about it.
So that was a weird ass experience, because then we're like, oh shit, like we just slept in this car in the side of a ditch.
Yeah. and it's stories like that, which is why like Alec, our intern that we had, we scared the shit. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast now, but we scared the shit out of him. Like one of our weddings that we did, because Cameron and I were telling a bunch of these stories, and Alec says something like, is it like, damn, like you guys have almost died so many times. And like, we're just like, well, I think at this point we just can't die. Yeah. And then Cameron and I are like driving on the highway at night, going like 80 miles an hour, being like, we can't die. We can't die. Just like chanting it. And then Alex just in the backseat, like,
look, and I don't even know this. I don't know if this was Alex's first, like, even shoot with us.
I don't know either.
Or whatever. But like, yeah, he's just got to be in the backseat, like,
I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah, like I'm in high school, and these like adults supposedly who brought me on for like a job
people
type
I'm
thing.
Supposed to be mentor. Yeah, like being my mentor.
Are in the front seat in front of me, not even looking back at me, going down in the middle of the night on the highway, like fucking, we can't die. We're adults.
That would be terrifying to witness as a kid, for sure.
Yeah, because then I would just be like, well, I'm going to then, like, I'm gonna die if these people are who's in charge of me right now.
It's in a weird way, dude. Like, not trying to jinx it. I mean, we've talked about it several times where if jinxing is a real thing, that we would have died already. But like, we've been in some sketchy situations before. Yeah. And haven't died.
Yeah. This episode of the podcast will be dedicated in Cole's memory by the time it comes out.
Oh my God, that would be awkward. You'd have to release it if I died.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'd release it and put money towards it.
So many views.
And advertise it, yeah.
You'd get hella views.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm going to benefit off his death.
You'd get the subs I always wanted.
Yeah. Please subscribe now if Cole's dead.
Jesus.
And if you don't know if Cole's dead until the end of this, and I put like, oh, in memory of whatever, Cole, whatever, then subscribe at least.
Have you ever had any, like, besides that, near-death experiences? I can't remember if you've had any. I don't remember if we've talked about this or not. I mean, there are plenty of situations that we've gotten in where, like, you know, walking around sketchy neighborhoods and all that stuff, doing crazy shit at night, like, where we could have been in a situation where that happens. But
I feel like I have, but I can't think of any. Damn it. No.
Yeah.
Not that I can think of.
No, like, roller coaster malfunctions, near car accidents. I guess the whole, like, you getting on the highway with your tire about to, like, pop
that's
off
close.
could have been close to dying.
Yeah, that's close.
You ever been stabbed?
I haven't been stabbed. I remember one time, this could have killed me, so everybody buckle in. In Rose Hill, I when I was in school, there was we have like number 2 pencils or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm holding one, like, I just have one in my hand, and one of my stupid friends decides to like fucking donkey kick the side of me or whatever, and it just goes like in the side of me.
Jesus.
And I think even still, like where the lead broke off, there's just like a black dot in there.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's also happened in my hand.
How deep did it go?
I don't know if it went like
were you bleeding a lot and shit?
I think I was bleeding, but like I don't think it was like like where I could have hung something on it, like that deep or anything.
All right. Weird.
Like where it's just like sticking and it's so wedged.
So you basically like shanked yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're like a schizophrenic like dude.
Yeah.
Like or not like a fucking split personality dude in prison. That's like, did you hear? Motherfucker snitching.
That's pretty much what I did to myself. And I
shanked that bitch.
One time I almost ripped my asshole open on a skateboard. Yeah.
Jesus. That's just that saying ripped your asshole. That sounds like the worst thing ever.
Yeah. It would
what the fuck?
So it was God, I thought it was with you. It must have been with one of my Rose Hill friends.
You keep thinking that I've gone skating with you before. I have never once.
We weren't skating. There's the dumbest part. We were in my parents' driveway, like where they still live.
Uh-huh.
And there was that like where their driveway goes up and then it just drops off to the backyard. There's like a fucking 3-foot drop or something.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on a skateboard and my friend was like pushing me, and like, you know, I could have been in fucking freshman in high school for all I know when this happened. I don't even know.
Huh.
But I probably was in like 7th grade. I don't know. But he like pushed me off the edge of the driveway because we were just like being funny. And like before you know, it's like me on this fucking thing, and we go, and then it's like, okay, the skateboard drops, and then here's my ass, and then I like popsicle and like pole vault on the edge of the skateboard, and I swear.
Jesus.
I was like, I don't want to look because I'm bleeding for sure. There's no fucking doubt. I ripped it open. There's no doubt.
Jesus.
I was fine, but it was scary as fucking. It hurt so fucking bad. That was tough.
God. So sorry you experienced that.
And when I used to go to the skate park and shit, I used to see people like jump out of bowls and shit and straight like up in the air come and land on their skateboard, where I'm sitting there like, they're dead. Like they had to be die. They have to die after that because there's no coming back from like gravity, fucking almost hitting terminal velocity or whatever the fuck it's called when you like free fall and reach the maximum speed, fucking, and just like land straight popsicled onto their fucking skateboard.
I don't even know how people can maintain their balance enough to go down a bowl.
Yeah,
like I've never been able to skateboard ever. I haven't had the balance for it. Like the only thing similar I do is roller skating.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's fucking crazy. It's one of those things I think like where you first put on roller skates is probably a little tough. Yeah. But then you get so used to it, you're like, oh, this is like a second fucking language almost.
Definitely.
Moving. It's like that, I think.
Yeah. Isn't that weird to think about like Roller City and Carousel Skate Center times and all that shit?
Yeah.
It's just like going there and like hanging out and everything.
Yeah. You'd be like, all I need is like $20.
Yeah.
I gotta buy snacks.
And
for
like,
all the ladies,
and we'd all the ladies, and we'd hang out there for a while. Like we like that'd be our weekend. Yeah, it's just like going down there for a whole entire evening and night, just chilling with people. Yeah, so weird.
It's weird. It's really weird. That was like a whole lifestyle of your age at that time. Like,
well, like anytime I hear, like I know I've heard other people say similar stuff, but I don't know if this is just how people our age think. But like whenever I hear any sort of 2008 song, like Bartender by T-Pain, like that kind of shit, Umbrella by Rihanna, like I immediately think of Roller City. Is just hearing that music in the speaker.
Yeah.
Like just skating and stuff like that.
It's
like not even paying attention.
Yeah. It's going to roller rinks and shit was like the equivalent of when you're a kid and then you get to go to the club.
Yeah.
That's like the
That's a
equivalent.
good point. That's a good point.
And then it turned into like cosmic bowling.
Yeah.
It like morphed into that. Like
Oh,
it got a little
man.
bit more adult.
Fucking Cameron and I, we would go to Seneca Bowl almost every day after we went to West High after school for like a period of time, to the point where like the person behind the counter already had our shoe sizes out and shit like that, like knew and then knew that we wanted the very last lane by the wall.
Yeah, dude, speaking of near-death experiences, that's when I threw a penny down your throat.
I forgot about that. Dude, I haven't thought about that story in years. Holy shit, that was the funniest fucking thing ever.
So it's just one of the stupid things where
Oh
Cole and
my
I are just
God.
like so like down for whatever, where I had a penny and I was just like, I like did the little motion like, I'm going to throw this thing in your mouth.
Yeah.
And then he was jokingly like,
Yeah.
like, fucking do it. Just fucking do it. And I like nothing but netted it into his throat.
It doesn't hit my teeth,
No.
tongue, anything. It just goes straight down and gets stuck right in my esophagus. I can't imagine what my face looked like when you throw it, because you probably didn't even see it going. It was
No.
dark, I
No.
think. And like, I just like immediately get like fear in my eyes.
Right.
And I just yacked it up like on the
Yeah.
fucking floor.
It's
Just
great.
and just like coughed it up and shit. And ting, 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 like on the ground. Damn.
I totally forgot about that. What
I
a
did
perfect
too.
fucking like.
That was great. Cosmic bowling, man. Yeah, we would do that a bunch too. That was Cosmic bowling is where I had my first first public sip of alcohol. Mm-hmm. Shout out Brittany. Your sister.
Oh, my sister.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
I remember there being that ball, that one bowling ball. It was pink. It was this perfect shade of pink. And
I tell
would
everybody
go,
this.
I would go try to find it, right? And I'm down to name the podcast this for all I care.
We should.
But it was this perfect shade of pink that wasn't clear and it wasn't all glittery like all the other ones, and it was just like opaque and fucking smooth. And we called it Pepto Bisball.
Cameron always needed his Pepto Bisball.
Yeah, even if I didn't use it, we just grab it because we're like, this is our pet ball, basically.
Yeah.
Pepto Bisball. How you doing?
And, and it's like a 6-pound ball or
It was
something like that. So
bullshit,
we
yeah.
just fucking like throw the
Yeah.
shit out of it down the lane.
Right.
That's so great.
They're fun. Those are fun times.
I tell people, like my friend group all the time, about the Pepto Bisball whenever we go bowling and shit like that. People just think it's the funniest fucking thing.
It's so stupid, but great.
That's Seneca Bowl's also where we came up with ball smackins for the first time.
Oh yeah,
Remember those times?
ball smackins, which is basically like a short.
It's one of
skit.
our mental scenarios that we
Yeah.
had where
What's the guy's name?
Jeeves.
Jeeves.
Yeah. So like basically it's some really wealthy person who has a butler.
Yeah.
And whenever he pleases, he says, "Jeeves." And I'm like, "Yes, sir." I'm like, well, 1 ball smackins, please. Or like 2 ball smackins or whatever, however many he's feeling that day. He's like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah. It's like right away, sir.
Was it a kid?
I don't know.
Or was it a little person?
I don't know.
I can't remember either.
I totally forgot that he had somebody else to initiate. Like it's basically like he can open up a little door and he pulls a little person out of a fucking like cubby or something.
Yeah,
and, like,
I always
just, like,
remembered
on
it as a
standby.
cage. Like there's always just a cage. I know that's so fucked up. It's so not okay now, but this is where our minds.
We'll call it a gnome. That way,
There
since
we go.
it's not real.
There we go.
But basically, he's got this little thing that only exists, like they keep it alive and fed just for the sake of, like, he pulls it up and lifts it up like a baby, and then that little creature just goes and like smacks this person's balls.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
that's what we would always do.
And then, like, for some reason, this person wants it. There's a method in place on how to achieve it.
Yeah.
And there's a protocol of how the butler is supposed to handle
It's
it.
regular enough that
Yeah.
they had to hire somebody to do it.
Yeah. It's like saying, bring me a hot towel.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something.
Exactly.
But
God,
it's-
how many people have we lost so far?
yeah.
This podcast,
If you're still
guys?
in here, I'll
Yikes.
tell you.
Big yikes. Good times.
Yeah.
Fucking Seneca Bowl.
Right. Miss those.
Yeah, same.
I haven't been in there forever.
Yeah, I think I went last, I think I went last year for someone's birthday party, and it's always nostalgic. All I can think about is like shit from middle school and everything, like the crowd we used to roll with going there, like getting food from that place, like the little restaurant that's open up in there. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I've been thinking a lot about like just us getting older, and then like having that mentality like, oh, back in the day when things were better and all that stuff, because like to me now it's still annoying when people say like, oh yeah, things used to be way better back then, because like, well, it's just been progress, like it's just things have changed and adapted and all that stuff. But the older I get, the more I can understand why people feel that way about things, which sucks.
Yeah. I feel like what happens is the younger people are sitting there like, they think about the big picture things that existed during the time these people are talking about, and really the older people are just talking about the simple little shit that changed.
Yeah, and that's what I'm noticing too, is it's little tiny details. And a lot of times, people, they might be talking about just the feeling it was to like, be younger and all that stuff back then. So who knows, but
so it's like they always, I don't know if I agree with this, but they'll always, I remember I've heard this several times that the music that you'll always like the most is the music that was around the time you lost your virginity.
Huh.
I've heard that from several different people. That's like around that time in your life is the time that you'll always like remember as being like the music you remember the most.
Interesting.
It's just an interesting little mental thing that who knows if it's true.
Yeah.
But also it's probably more around the time in your life where like you're more into music and had more fun and shit like that. So it makes sense, but it's like
it's crazy.
A little rule of thumb. It's
crazy to think about like hearing a song and like how many memories it triggers is the same like when you smell something that you haven't in a long time and it triggers a bunch of memories.
Yeah.
Like shit you don't even think about, and then you hear a song like like I know exactly what time of year it was when Serj Tankin's album came out. Like I remember exactly what I was doing when I heard Relapse for the first.
I remember for the first time. Relapse being a big deal because I swear, and I could be wrong on the date. You might want to look it up.
Okay.
I swear it was May 19th
when it dropped.
Yeah. I don't know what year. Maybe 2009 or 2010. Anyway, it was like May. It couldn't have been 2010. It has to be like 9. I don't know. Anyway, I swear it was May 19th because it's the same day that I got my driver's license that day, and I took my parents' car out.
What date?
May 19th?
It's May 15th.
Fuck!
2009.
I was close.
You were close. You were super close. I mean, that's just a matter of days being off.
But I remember like that being a huge deal because it was when you were like learning, like when I was like, didn't have my own car, but was driving like my parents' cars, my grandparents' cars.
That's how I remember it too. Like when I was in my old first car.
Yeah. And I remember taking the my parents had a Expedition at the time, that blue SUV or whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I drove that down to the river, which was new to me to do that. I was like, I'm gonna go listen to this, and I listened to the whole album down just in the dark down at the river, like where people always fish and shit. Like over there was like a parking place before they renovated it. And I remember going back and being like, oh yeah, I just took it and listened to the new album, like back to my grandparents' house, and my parents were there, and I remember them just being like, you can't fucking do that.
Oh,
you can't just, which when I looked back and I was like, yeah, I guess I didn't ask anybody if I could do that. I just did it or something. And I remember just, they were kind of a little mad about it, but yeah, that was like a really big, like that time and all the music that was coming out. And then of course, like when I worked at Pizza Hut, which is probably also around that time, just like all the music that was out then.
Do you remember hearing the like trailer to Relapse? In your grandma's shop?
It was like the best thing in the world, and I can't remember it, but every once in a while I'll look it up, and it was like, I still think it's so interesting because like you don't get album like hints, but it was this thing that wasn't even on the album,
especially then. Like it was it wasn't on the album at all, and it was this thing that released, and it was to hype up the release of the album itself.
It was just like him running on and doing shit, and it was I loved it.
Isn't that the one where he's like, it's bacon souffle?
That's the only part I ever made it.
Well, thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
But yeah, I remember like we were so stoked that it came out that we went to, or maybe we were just, maybe you were showing it to me for the first time. I can't remember, but like we were in your grandma's shop, Central Plains Novelty, and we went to the back area on the old ass computer and like YouTubed it.
Yeah.
And then like we listened to it. I remember listening to it for the first time back there. Just the setting, like everything. It was just so crazy.
And I still remember too. was it We Made You? Is that the title?
Or
is it
I think so.
From Relapse, where he's like it was like his catchy song?
Yeah.
I think it's We Made You. Or I know the thing is like we're the
Rockstar.
ones that made.
No. Yeah, I think it was We Made You.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it's the one where he's like dressed up like he's like in a reality TV show, the fucking like Loved Ones or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like they were like, okay, this music video is gonna release at 6 a.m. on like the VH1 or whatever the fuck it was. And I remember like waking up before school to listen to it and like watching it and being like, this is the first thing he's made in like years and years.
Yeah.
And just being like, holy shit.
So excited.
It's so amazing. I can still remember watching it in my room. And then eventually when 3 a.m. came out, I remember I was at West and I was in like one of the art rooms and like watching it on the computer and just like looping it, like listening to it over and over again. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was just so different.
It's so different.
Yeah,
Just
like,
talking about murdering and stuff like that the whole entire
it's just
album.
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, shit like that.
Didn't realize this camping podcast was going to turn into a nostalgic trip down middle school and high school and shit. Speaking of, though, we did get a new comment from one of our middle school friends, Kendra, who is a fan of the show, and she said the nicest goddamn thing. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it on the podcast. She said, "I'm dying watching this. I talk about your videos all the time and how genuine it is. I love how this is exactly how you guys have always been, and it's hilarious. I truly hope you guys do this forever." That's awesome.
We probably will.
I mean, honestly, yeah. At least we're gonna act like this forever, at least.
Yeah,
but it's cool. It's always nice to get like outside comments like that because we're so in our own heads all the time, and that's just how humans are.
For sure,
it's hard to like see what other people see, you know, when they look our way.
Definitely,
we talked about that before, but yeah, guys, we plan on keeping this going. I mean, unless apparently I die soon and this video is gonna be dedicated to me, or was that the last video? It was this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then yeah, we're probably gonna keep going because this is fun. We like talking about random shit, and I don't give a fuck if you guys don't.
Yeah, if you die, I'll just only have one angle, and I'll just keep doing it.
All right, you should keep the second angle to just like cut back to every now and then, and it's just an empty scene.
Hell yeah. Just take up the space on my computer, that side of the fucking camera.
Yeah, whole ass 30 minutes.
Like I got eventually 1,000 clips of nobody on the camera.
Jesus Christ,
like 100 gigs worth of shit.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in as always. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any other ideas of places to go to or things to talk about, feel free to let us know in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
If you don't lick my butt, then I'ma lick your butt.